Hello, everybody. I'm Pam Conrice of Strategic Communications. Thank you for joining the ANR Town Hall. Let's get started with the leadership update. And if you have questions, please put them in the Q&A so they don't get lost in the others' answers. Brent, you want to start off?
Hey, I'm grateful to see everybody, albeit virtually this afternoon, and I want to extend a special greeting to all of our new folks. I will let you know that Glenda is unable to join us today because she's meeting actually right now with the Alliance for Renewable Clean Hydrogen Energy Systems. This is a statewide public-private partnership, better known as ARCHES. And ARCHES is a project that was funded by the Department of Energy at $1.2 billion that was awarded to the state of California. And it's specifically focused around creating green jobs, protecting the environment, improving public health, and advancing climate goals as it relates to hydrogen energy production. So currently, there are over 400 partners and growing. And this is a statewide public-private partnership led by the Governor's Office of Business and Economic Development, obviously the University of California, the California State Building Trades Council, and the Renewables 100 Policy Institute. I was recently at a meeting of the Vice Chancellors of Research, and it was stated that without ANR's participation, this would not have happened, and particularly Glenda's leadership. So we're really excited about being involved, engaged, and being at the table for this groundbreaking research and outreach. So congrats to everybody involved. Also, earlier this week, wrapped up yesterday, a delegation from ANR, we attended the California State Association of Counties, better known as CSAC. They have an annual conference, and it's attended by county supervisors, clerks, county administrative officers, and other elected and appointed officials from across California. We had a booth, and we engaged participants both at the booth but also in the various sessions. And from them, we not only learned what some of the challenges they experienced and the roles that ANR can play in addressing those, but also future potential partnership opportunities and engagement. So I appreciate specifically Ann Magaro and Sharon Violini, their leadership in this, and just to let you know that ANR was on full display, and we got lots of great questions and engagement, as I said. In good news, I guess, albeit temporarily, the federal government shutdown was averted at least for a couple weeks. There are several proposals that may or may not enable the federal government to avoid a future shutdown. However, it's important to know that ANR in general is financially stable and will be able to cover any financial responsibilities should a shutdown happen. What will mostly be impacted in the eventuality that it does happen is our ability to engage with our federal partners, and that includes employees, programs, and funders. However, our folks will get paid, and we don't anticipate any short-term disruptions of what we do and how we do it. But in better news, Ann Magaro and Sharon Violini are giving a tour to legislators of our ANR forest and wildfire research at the Blodgett Forest Center, and that's tomorrow, Friday. So we hope that in doing so, we're going to increase the visibility of our activities and our increased and continue, hopefully, can receive continued support for ANR and our research and outreach activities. We appreciate Sharon and Ann's doing so, and obviously everybody that's going to be involved, and certainly the program support unit's assistance in all aspects of the tour. finally, as a wrap up to my updates, our call for position process is ongoing. We're moving ahead with the position call. And it's important to note that collaboration really should take place between the program teams, the counties, the campuses, and other stakeholders to ensure that the positions put forward are relatively strong in terms of their collaborative in nature. And this is done to ensure that the positions that go forward are both wanted, needed, warranted, and it reflects the needs and the collaborative approach that goes into meeting those needs. So we encourage you to get those submissions in on time so that they can receive the consideration from our program council that deliberates on the positions and then delivers that final recommendation to Glenda for approval. So with that, I'm going to turn it over to Daniel, who can take up his end of the leadership update. Daniel?
Okay, thanks, Brent. Good afternoon, everyone. I have just one item from my side. Last week, we wrapped up our 2023 mentorship program, and we did that with a celebration and debrief event here in Davis. Just to let you know, we had a record 45 teams of mentors and mentees in this program this year, and that included both staff and academics. And the feedback we received were really enthusiastic. It's really important as a support structure for our new employees to have this mentorship program. If you're a new employee, please watch out for the invitation of the 2024 mentorship program. This will be sent out shortly by our Learning and Development Coordinator, Jody Azulay. And we can do this only, however, if we have enough mentors, and we still urgently need more mentors, both from the academic and the staff side of the organization. So if you have been with ANR for a while and are willing to share your experiences and expertise with our new mentees, basically meeting once a month for an hour to support our new employees, we would appreciate if you would sign up as a mentor. And you can do that with the attached link that Pam just shared with you. This brings you to a short mentor questionnaire that we ask you to fill out. Thank you all for those who have or will support our mentees through this important program. Thank you. And we'll go next to Kathy.
Two.
Well, I think 2 is next.
Oh, okay, sorry.
Hello, everyone. I have a couple quick updates, and these are operational type of updates that will affect most of you, if not all of you. The very first one has to do with the conversions of our enterprise business system. Many of you have been participating in the process of conversions for this event. It is slated to happen at the end of the year. I believe we're going to convert into the new system on January 1, 2024. The final decision on go or no go will be made tomorrow. However, we are preparing to proceed with the conversions. What effectively will happen is that next week on November 21st, all transactions will suspend in the current business system. Kuali, that is. So you've been receiving communications on this, so you should be prepared for a period of a dark period where there's no transactions that will take place in the current business system. On November 20th, there will be communication that will go out. There will be trainings for many of you. Some of you have already taken these trainings. I encourage you to take the training that will be announced on Monday. These training will be specific to business officer, administrative personnel, but plan on getting that communication on Monday. The second item has to do with the data center relocations. Currently, our data center resides on the campus at UC Davis. Through a series of changes that's occurring both at UC Davis as well as ANR, we have made the decision to modernize and stabilize our IT environment. And in that process, we have decided to relocate our data center. A data center is a server farm, essentially, where all of our application resides. That will take place the first week of December. Tentatively today, we're thinking that it will happen the weekend of December the 8th. It may move by a day or two, but the first week of December is when we're moving the data center. We're also going to replace all of the server to modernized equipment. I expect that there will be some disruption, some minor disruptions. The IT team have been working very hard on Plan B and Plan C, just in case something does not go as planned. But plan for that. You should be receiving periodic weekly communications from the IT team about what to expect, what applications will be impacted. If you're concerned about an event that you're holding, if you're concerned about Tuesday Giving Tuesday, or your merchant promotion package, there will be communications that will go out to you specifically addressing those. And that will start also on Monday. So there's a lot of changes in terms of system coming up in the next month and a half. And the last reminder I have for everyone is that tomorrow is the last day for open enrollment for your benefits. Please don't forget. Tomorrow's the last day, 17th. Okay, that's all I have, Pam. Thanks.
Thanks to 5 p.m. tomorrow, open enrollment. Kathy?
Right.
Good, thank you. Thanks for the reminder too.
Next slide, please.
It's been on my radar, but it's good to remember that deadline is looming. So I have 2 updates this month. The first is about Regents. So Regents meeting is literally wrapping up today. On Tuesday, Glenda and I went down and Glenda did an orientation for our new regions. And I have to give a huge shout out to the new orientation ANR overview video that Ethan Ireland put together on very, very short notice. All of we were invited with maybe a week or 10 days lead time to create a video that overviewed everything about ANR for the new regions that they use for new region orientation. He put together something phenomenal, which I'm hoping that we can somehow share in the future, Pam, with everybody. We got such great feedback from that. The other divisions, I must say, are much drier in their presentation video, with one talking head giving a verbal 10-minute overview. And of course, ours was rich with video and photos, and the messaging was amazing. Definitely got kudos from that, and that will be going out. Those orientation videos are going to be sent out to the entire Board of Regents as well. So there will be plenty of opportunity for other regions to be able to listen to that video. The second piece was that we were invited, our NOS team, News and Outreach in Spanish, I don't know if Ricardo joined yet or not, was invited to do an overview of the NOS services and our impact to the Public Engagement and Development Committee of the Regents. So Ricardo put together a presentation along with our media partner, Josie Huerta from Entervision, and they knocked it out of the park. Of course, it's an amazing video. But again and again, it speaks to the fact that ANR makes an impact in California, and they were able to deliver, I think, very effectively the work that we do within ANR to deliver science-based information to improve people's lives across our Latino community. So kudos to them. And then also to Lisa and Miguel. We had our own cheering section, so thank you. Part of the NOS team that drove out to support Ricardo and Josie. So kudos for all of that. Amazing. It's always great when the regions actually recognize ANR. And in fact, a couple of the newer regions, one regent mentioned the 9 or 10 campuses, and another regent spoke up and just said, no, there's 10 campuses and ANR. So to have that unprompted recognition. It's great. We are making inroads there. So that's my first set of pieces of information about Regents. Secondly, though, and that's where we go here, we've mentioned this to you all before, and I think a lot of people have signed up for these sessions, but as you know, we're doing the strategic visioning. The committee met about a month ago. They put together a draft mission vision and a set of the 10 challenges that they've defined for ANR for the next 15 years. So we invite you, and if we go to the next slide, we want your input. They want your feedback on these drafts. This needs to be a system-wide collective effort. If you haven't already signed up, the link is going to be, and I can't see my chat quite yet, but we'll be pasting the link, the register. There we go. Thank you. The registration link is in the chat. Please sign up for one of these sessions. The in-person sessions, as you can see, there will be 5 of them spread across the state. They will include a feedback process plus a lunch and a networking opportunity. So those of you who want to gather with colleagues from your area, there's opportunity for that. If you can't make one of those in-person sessions, please join us for one of the 3 Zoom sessions. We'll be doing this December through February. All of that input will then go back to the Strategic Visioning Committee, probably early April, where they will finalize all those components. So it's really important that we hear from you before these get finalized. These components, especially the challenge areas, that will define allocation of resources in our work for the next 15 years. So please sign up. And with that, Pam, I'm going to turn it back to you.
Thank you. I wish I had pom-poms, all that good news. Well, next we have our UC San Diego colleagues, Grace Gorin and Yulia Kempley of Tritonlytics, to present results of ANR's customer service satisfaction survey. Yulia?
Yes, thank you so much for inviting, and let me share my screen. The presentation, can you see it? Yes. So again, thank you so much for inviting for your meeting, and let me present the customer satisfaction survey results. My name is Yulia Kepley, and I'm UCSD Tritonlytics Program Director, and today I'm joined by my colleague, Grace Gorin, and maybe as you know, she is a project manager for all ANR surveys. So today I'm going to present the result of this survey that we launched this year, June 2023. As you may know, it's a second year. The first one was launched in 2021, and in this year we were invited 18 ANR administrative and support services unit that included in this survey. So 1,237 academic staff and students were invited to participate, and you can see that we have 35% response rate. So it's not the highest rate, but for the large scale survey, it's a robust percentage, and it allows us to run the all statistical analysis and receive the reliable data. Of course, for maybe like the next year of survey, we will work in more with you on improving the response rate. But for now, 35% is a robust coefficient. So the survey design was included 10 standard satisfaction questions, and we added 10 additional questions that were specifically designed for ANR. This survey included a net promoter score that we will talk a little bit later in this presentation, open-ended questions about what responded to like best, suggestions for improvement, and recognition colleagues for exceptional customer service. So here's the interface that the participant were able to see. So on the left side, you can see the list of the questions, and on the top, it's a 5-point scale that starts from extremely satisfied to not at all satisfied. So after we receive the data, we like the first, let's start share some summary, like highlights that we get from this survey. So the main parameter is overall satisfaction score, and it's for all 18 units, they range from 3.10 to 3.97 on the 5-point scale. 8 units fell in the good range from 3.6 to 4.29, 10 units in the moderate range, and we have a great news. No units fell in the low range. And in 2021, information technology and staff human resources units, they were in the low range. And this year, they demonstrated improvement and they moved to moderate range. So congratulations, guys. You guys do a great job. And as a result, no units fell in the low range satisfaction score. So the next parameters that we would like to highlight, it's influential strength. Later, I will talk more specifically about it, but in general, influential strength, it's customer service areas that they're important to the customers, highly correlated with overall satisfaction score, and in the same time, customers highly satisfied with these parameters. So the common parameters, it provides effective advice and guidance. It was marked as influential strength for 16 units. Respond to requests within acceptable time frame for 15 units. Accessible to customer for 12 units. And again, it's worth to mention that information technology unit improved customer satisfaction in all customer service area compared to 2021 surveys. Office of Grants, Contracts and Grants has more strength than other units. Another important parameter is primary opportunity. It's a customer service area that they're important to the customers, but compared to other areas, customer were less satisfied. So the most common is understanding customer needs, moving in the positive direction, and approval time. So these parameters require additional attention and improvement for the future. So before we move in to the data, I would like to walk you through how to interpret the result. So each unit received the statistical report, and on the first page, here's the example how to read this report. So the first, we can start with the response rate. It's for this example, it's 101 responses, and we just make sure that we have more than 25 responses because it allows us to run impact analysis, very important actionable analysis that I will show you later in this presentation. So again, 25, and when we did analysis, I noticed that all units have more than 25. So all units have reports including impact analysis. The next one, it's on the right, it's overall satisfaction score. And here you can see that the mean score is 3.58. And on the right side, you can see the frequency distribution, how the customer rated ANR and particular department. So we can see that the blue, extremely satisfied, very satisfied, somewhat satisfied. So as a leader of the unit, it's very important that these chart bars would be much bigger than the gray ones, which represent not very satisfied, not at all satisfied. And additional parameters that we need to pay attention to is the standard deviation, and it should be less than 1, and it means that there is no variability, there is no spread data. So when it's less than 1, it means that this 3.58 truly mean score. So there is no spread around the frequency distribution. So then the next one, we included strength and opportunities. For this unit, it would be understanding my needs and requirements, facilitated problem resolution, and helpful staff. And for each unit, it would be unique set of strength and opportunity based on the data that customer provided specifically for this unit. Here on the bottom, you can see the list of all customer service areas and mean score for the result of 2021 and 2023. So when we conducted survey in 2021, we presented this as a shot of how customers feel overall. But this year in 2023, we have the excellent opportunity to compare the result and see if the department's moving in the right direction. And here on the right side, you can see blue bars indicating that the score, the mean score was improved. For example, understanding my needs and requirement, it was improved, the blue bar. There are a couple areas that will decline compared to the 2021. So as a team leader, it's important to pay attention and take to consideration for the future improvement. So here it's how you can read your statistical reports that you guys received. So the next slide, it's overall satisfaction score that present the result of the difference between 2021 and 2023. It's very like visually stand out chart showing that most of the units, they improved overall satisfaction mean score. And especially I would like to highlight this two units, like development service and statewide programs operations. In 2021, they fell in the moderate category. And look in 2023, they improved their overall satisfaction score. And a customer rated this unit's much higher, and it's moved to the good category. Also, look at the two other units: information technology and staff human resources. In last year, they were in the low category, and this year they improved customer satisfaction and they moved to the moderate rate. And again, it's still pink, but it's a great achievement, and especially when you see the star like this, it means that it's statistically significant changes. Like information technology, all efforts that they implemented after the 2021 surveys, it was captured by survey current year, and we definitely notice the statistical significant changes in customer satisfaction. So great job, congratulations. And I really, when I prepared this presentation, I really enjoyed to see all the improvements that were made. So the next slide show the same customer satisfaction score, but a little bit in the with different angle. Here we still have the same mean score, same as from the previous slide, but we included this frequency distribution. And we split between 3 buckets to show the blue bucket represent very and extremely satisfied customers, pink somewhat satisfied, and like orange yellowish not very, not at all satisfied. So why this chart is important? Because beside mean score, we can see the group of customers who satisfied and not. For example, look at the first, the unit Office of Contracts and Grants has the highest mean score, and it has 70% of customers who satisfied on different level, but satisfied. But look at the 11% of customers who are not satisfied, and even having the highest mean score, this unit has pretty big percentage of customers who are not satisfied. And maybe in the future strategy for improvement, maybe this unit, like as leaders, like you need to take to consideration and understand like what's going on, why this percentage is so high. And for example, look at the next unit, risk and safety services. Even this unit doesn't have the highest score, it's 3.95, but it has the lowest percentage, only 3% customers who are not satisfied. So again, when you look at the result, take to consideration the mean score, but in the same time, look at the frequency distribution because it gives the additional insight of your data. So let's move on. So this one, it's like, very big, and I will help you how we will read this table. On the left side, we see the whole list of 18 units that participated in this survey. On the top, we have all customer service areas that were evaluated during the survey. So we can read this table horizontally. For example, we take unit development service and we look across of all customer service areas and see how the unit is doing, particularly for each areas. And we see, and it's color coded data. You can see that blue, this mean score fell in the good range, and pink and red, it's moderate and low. So for development services unit, it all mean score for all areas. It's in the good category. It's a great result. In the same time, each unit can look across all areas and identify which area needs to be improved and which one shows the great result. But beside that, we can look vertically and see and focusing not just on one unit, but look at the overall data and see which parameters stand out across all units, like on university level. And we can see that knowledgeable staff and helpful staff, they have almost all units show the mean score in the blue good range. So it's mean that providing customer service, clients, they notice that staff is very helpful and knowledgeable, not just for one department, but across all university. Let's see where's the lowest score located. And we see that improved workflow process, clarity of policy, and clear procedure has the concentration of pink and red. So the lower score compared to the rest of the parameters. So again, when you start developing the strategy and action plans for improvement, this area, not just for one unit, but overall university needs to be addressed. Let's move to the next slide. So this one, it's a new slide compared to the presentation in 2021, because it's how I mentioned, we have a chance to compare data. Here we have only 4 units, but don't worry, the rest of you guys have the data in the appendix at the end of this presentation. So this one is just the introduction. And so what we can take from this slide, for example, let's look at the unit statewide programs operations. In 2021, almost all customer service areas were in the pink, in the moderate range. And in 2023, how each area was improved. Overall satisfaction, provide effective advice and guidance. So everything is in a great shape. And especially when you see the star, as I mentioned before, it's meant that it's statistically significant. So moving in positive direction for this unit, it was significant changes. And congratulations, it's a great result. Same with resource planning and management. Look, in 2021, everything was in pink, and some categories even were in the low range. But look at the improvement in 2023. So you can study each graph and go over each unit individually and see and compare the results. But we can move further. And this one, it's additional measurement. It's called Net Promoter Score that we use for customer satisfaction survey. And it's wide used for different industries who work with the customers. So to identify and find if the customer is loyal. And so how this Net Promoter Score calculated. So we ask the customers how likely they're willing to recommend this unit to the colleagues, to family members, to other people. And we provided 10-point scale. And if the customer marked from 0 to 6, we called these customers detractors. It means that they're not satisfied, and even worse, they can share the negative opinion about the unit. And the customer who marked 9 and 10, we call the promoters. It's a loyal customers who satisfied, and at the same time they willing to promote this unit. They willing to share the great experience working with this unit. So how we calculate it? We subtract the percentage of detractors from percentage of promoters. So the higher net promoter score, it means that we have more customers who satisfied, who loyal, who promote and share great opinion about the unit. But besides net promoter score, I would like to bring your attention to the group in circle. It's called passive. It's customers who marked 7 and 8 on the 10-point scale. And this percentage is not involved in calculating net promoter score, but it's important to notice, and here it's 26%. It's group of people who customers who are satisfied, but somehow they hesitate to be proactive. They don't share, they don't recommend the unit. So maybe again, like for the future, when you build the strategy, maybe addressing this group of people, because look, it's a high percent, 26, and think about what we can do to motivate them, to move them just not be satisfied, but be proactive and promote the unit university on the among their friends and other people. So let's move to the result. And here again, we present on the left side, we have the list of all units that participated in this survey and the result 21 and 23. Overall, each unit show some improvement, but I would like to highlight the most noticeable. So the first one, it's a statewide program operations. And mine in 2021, the result was -14. And this year it's +30. It's a great achievement. It's mean that this unit has less detractors and getting more customers who are satisfied, who are more loyal, who are willing to promote this unit. So it's impressive result. And another one, it's information technology. Look, last year it was -38, and in 2023 it's -2. Even it's still in the low category, but look at the changes. Look the improvement. We have less detractors, less people who are unsatisfied, who maybe spreading not good opinion about information technology in 2021. But now we reduce this with these customers, and the unit working towards getting more loyal customers. So it's a great result, and later you can review this PowerPoint and go each unit by unit. But we will move forward. So
yeah, we've got about 5 more minutes.
Okay, yeah. So this one, it's important impact analysis that I've been talking about when we have 25 people, and this is the actionable. This is actionable analysis that identify primary opportunity and influential strength. So we use the mean score for each parameters and correlation how important this service area to the customers. And we built this matrix. This matrix is unique for each unit. And let's, 1 second. Yeah, so just show this one. This table show which influential strength, like the strong part of customer service was achieved on university level. And it's provide effective advice, facilitate problem resolution, knowledgeable staff, helpful staff. The area for improvement, it's moving in positive directions. Its primary opportunity there requires additional attention for majority of units. So, and the next couple slides, it's example that each unit would receive this matrix, the 2023 result, and they can review and start focusing on this primary opportunity. For example, for academic human resources, it would be communication and approval workflow process. And again, each unit has its own slide in the appendix at the end of this presentation. So, yeah. So, and the last slide, it's showing again, the mean score across all customer areas and the difference between academic faculty and staff. Overall, we can notice that staff score higher customer satisfaction with all areas compared to the academic faculty. So this slide is important when you develop the actionable plan, and like when you start focusing specifically for staff and academic, and understanding that there is a difference in customer service perception between these two groups. So this is the data, and two more slides. It's more what we recommend after you receive this data. Again, when you receive this result, it shows the comparison with 2021 survey. We recommend you to adjust the goal that you set up in 2021 to see if you're still moving in the right direction. If something needs to be adjusted, maybe start working, how I mentioned, on the passive group for Net Promoter Score, or just start focusing on the primary opportunities. Here's the form that you can use to track your improvements and your actions. If you don't have it, please let us know and we will share it with you. And here's the just a couple sentences. I would recommend you to start sharing the result with the team. Start actively engage in developing the strategy. And the most important, please communicate back to your customers who took this survey, who took time, and show them that you appreciate it, that their voice is heard, and show them that the steps that you're going to take to improve this service, because it's very important, and it shows you that their opinion is valued, and they will be willing to take this survey in a couple of years. So thank you so much. And again, yeah, I'm sorry if I took a little bit longer than expected. If you have any questions, please feel to share through chat or just vocally ask. Thank you.
Thank you, Yulia. And if you have questions, please put them in the Q&A. They're easier to see there. And I believe all the unit directors have copies of this data.
Yes,
right?
Yes. We shared. So when you have time and opportunity to communicate with the team and deliver this data and explain, it would be very helpful to let the team member to be more engaged in the developing this strategy.
Right. Thank you. It's so encouraging to see so much improvement in the stores.
Yes, I'm sorry to interrupt. I was very impressed, and I was just so happy to, when I built design each chart, I was so happy to see the improvements, and I hope in a couple of years we will be able to reveal the trends, because it will be 3 years of comparison, so it's even more data. So we are looking forward. And again, thank you so much for your ongoing commitment to do this survey, and it showed that you guys value your customers, and it's important for you to make sure that they have high satisfied with the customer service. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you. Next up, we have Sue Mossbacher from UC Master Food Preserver, and she's going to tell us how to not poison our friends and family and ourselves over the holidays. Welcome, Sue.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm one of the statewide programs that did well on the survey, so that's exciting. So with the holidays coming up, we cook and eat a lot of food. And so I have 5 general food safety recommendations to help you spend time with your family and friends instead of getting sick over the porcelain throne. So these are tips that I share during our Master Food Preserver volunteer training sessions and our public classes. So first, we start clean and we stay clean. And this is true for you and your kitchen work area. The goal is to keep microorganisms from growing in our food. We want to destroy them and inhibit their growth. So one benefit of the pandemic is we did learn how to sanitize our kitchen work areas, right? The first step is to clean. You want to use a damp cloth to remove crumbs, globs of jam, whatever stuck to the bottom of your backpack, and anything else that ended up on your counter. Then you sanitize to get rid of the majority of germs. And you need to let your cleaning solution sit on the surface long enough to do its job, at least 10 seconds. It's not a magic wand that works immediately. And if you're using disinfectant wipes, read the instructions on the container before using, because many of them require you to rinse after wiping because the cleaner is not a food safe product. Pull out your magnifying glass to read the small print. Then clean the places you'll touch while you cook: the refrigerator door handle, the cupboard handles for the garbage, the drawer handles for the utensils, the sink faucet handles, all of the common touch points in your kitchen. And wipes do make this an easy task. And then, since you read the directions, if you need to, follow up with a quick rinse with a damp paper towel. If you use your cell phone for the recipe or as a timer, sanitize it too. Admit it, your phone falls on the floor, on a lot of dirty floors, and your hands aren't always clean when you use it. Then don't forget to prep yourself. Pull your hair back. This obviously keeps your hair from ending up in your food, but it also keeps you from repeatedly touching your hair to get it out of your eyes. Your hair collects a lot of microscopic organisms from the air. Staphylococcus aureus is found in the nose, the throat, the hair, and the skin of 50% of healthy individuals. That's not an ingredient you want to add to your salad, so keep your clean hands away from your dirty hair. Then wear a clean apron. Yes, it protects your clothes from getting dirty, but more importantly, it protects your food from what's on your clothes. If you snuggle pets during the day or you carry things from outside against your chest, your clothes aren't food safety clean. And then it's a given that there will be bacteria on your holiday turkey. If you rinse it, water splashes off and all around your kitchen. It tends to aerosolize, and the fine spray goes places you don't see, landing on towels, the glass of water you keep sipping from, your kid's sippy cup, and more. So pat the turkey dry with paper towels and destroy the bacteria on it by cooking it thoroughly. And here's a website, if you've got it in there, great, that has awesome live and animated videos on why not to rinse your turkey. And then obviously wash your hands frequently. They touch a lot of surfaces while you cook that you may not have sanitized. Think other cupboard door handles, the garbage can bag, your nose, a landline phone, the garbage disposal switch, kids, pets, and more. And then try to get in the habit of cleaning and sanitizing as you go. You never know the status of the immune system of your guests. And here's wonderful news about getting older. Bacteria stays in our bodies longer, making people over 55 more susceptible to foodborne illnesses. Joy, oh joy. So practice preventative food safety measures. When you buy a frozen turkey, it should have instructions on how to thaw it in the refrigerator. If you don't have room, you may be tempted to put it on the counter because it does thaw faster. And here's why that's not a good idea. A common misconception about freezing food is that it kills bacteria. It doesn't. The bacterial growth slows down to almost nothing, but it's not destroyed. In my classes, I compare the frozen bacteria to a hibernating bear. It's sleeping, and it wakes up, it's ravenously hungry. So when the food freezes, the water in the food expands, and that ruptures or weakens the cell walls. When the food thaws and that sleeping bacteria bear wakes up, the nutrients in the food are more easily accessible to the bacteria. That's why thawed food spoils faster than fresh food. It's like you move the bear to a lush, thornless berry patch when it wakes up. By thawing food in the fridge, you slow the bacterial activity, reducing food spoilage. My husband used to thaw meat on the counter, and he'd try to justify it by showing that the center was still frozen. Well, yes, but the edges weren't, and the thawed bacteria were having a field day working their way from the outer edges of the meat down to the center. Bacteria grow best at temperatures in the danger zone, which is 40 to 140 degrees Fahrenheit. Room temperature falls within that range. So thaw your food in the fridge. I'm sure you all know the recommendations for putting thawing meat on the bottom shelf of the fridge and to put it on a plate, a tray, or a roasting pan, like they have in this picture here. And this keeps the juices from dripping down on the food below it. So in this picture, they do have the turkey on the bottom shelf in a roast pan, but they should have put these peppers, swapped them with that. The peppers could have gone in a shallower bowl with the meat up above it. It's not uncommon to tilt a container as you pull it out of the shelf, and you get drips. If you have them, use separate cutting boards for vegetables, meat, poultry, and fish. If you don't have separate boards, make good use of your sink and wash the cutting board with hot soapy water and a scrub brush. Clean and sanitize the splash zone after cleaning cutting boards using raw meat. You can get a lot of splashing cleaning large flat surfaces like a cutting board. And I'm happy to sound like a broken record, but clean and sanitize your workspace and your hands frequently. So there are many purposes of cooking. It makes the food taste good, changes the texture, and it smells good. But as far as food safety is concerned, the important part of cooking is that heat penetration destroys the microorganisms in the food. The food needs to be at a temperature long enough to destroy bacteria and other foodborne microorganisms. It's a combination of temperature and time. When the internal temperature of meat is at thickest point reaches the correct level, it's been heated long enough to be safe to eat. I tend to talk loudly to the TVs when I watch chefs on cooking shows press meat to tell if it's done. No, Gordon, that's not the way to tell. Use a thermometer. So put a thermometer in the thickest part of the meat and then wait for it to get to the right temperature. Much to my dismay, my husband, he used to use the touch method to tell if meat was done. And then he got a new toy one year, a Bluetooth meat thermometer, and he could check the temperature on his phone. He fell in love with it when he barbecued big pieces of meat. And he could check on it while he was working in the yard, and he didn't have to come up and open the lid, let out all the hot air to see if the meat was done. He told me he was very pleased that he had consistent results with the meat by using the thermometers. And I was very pleased that he was finally convinced to trust a meat thermometer. They work. It was one small victory for science. So start planning for storage when you serve your food. Set a timer for 2 hours. That's how long food can safely stay at room temperature before the level of bacteria gets too high. In the summer, when the temperature is above 90 degrees, it should only sit out for an hour. Luckily, it's not that hot right now. When you're cooling food, it'll cool faster if you put it in a wide, shallow container because there's more surface space for the heat to dissipate. And then let your food cool to room temperature before putting it in the fridge. Otherwise, it can warm up the food around it, pushing it into the danger zone above 40 degrees. The general rule of thumb is to eat leftovers within 3 to 4 days. Some foods last longer, especially if they have sugar in them, because sugar molecules bind with the water molecules in the food, and they make the water unavailable for the bacteria. That's how sugar acts as a preservative. If you have a lot of leftovers and are going to freeze them immediately, cool them to room temperature, then cool them in the fridge before putting them in the freezer. Just like in the fridge, if you put warm food in the freezer, it will heat up the neighboring food, which can cause texture issues if it's warmed and frozen several times. Cold food goes in the freezer. And if you're going to add a lot of food to the freezer, crank the temperature down in advance. So if the added food does raise the temperature, it will still be in the frozen range. And if you've ever pulled food out of the freezer and it looks like there are ice stalagmites all over it, it's because the water in the food evaporated into the air in the package and then froze. Air is not your friend in the freezer. Get as much out of the packaging as possible for best quality. And if you use little plastic storage bags for the freezer, be sure they're freezer bags. Regular sandwich baggies are thinner than freezer bags, and they're designed to let some air in and out. Otherwise, condensation in the baggie would make your sandwich soggy. So if you use regular sandwich bags to freeze food, you'll get more evaporation, which results in more freezer burn. So those are my food safety areas. Start and stay clean, thaw your food wisely, avoid cross-contamination, cook thoroughly, and store safely. So the statewide Master Food Preserver website has a wide variety of food safety publications from around the country. The starting point is mfp.ucanr.edu. Then go to resources and then the publication library. And here's what the site looks like and where you'll find food safety resources and much more. Our website is mfp.ucanr.edu, and in the context section is a link to our Ask a Master Food Preserver helpline. Food preservation is short and long-term storage, including refrigeration, freezing, storing things in the pantry on the counter, as well as dehydrating, canning, and fermentation. If you have a question, ask us. So have a food safe, happy holiday.
Thanks, Sue. Lots of great information. We have a question from Medina Marylander. She says, this is great information. Any cautionary advice regarding warming drawers? My new stove has one, which I like, but I don't have a lot of experience. Thanks.
Depends on what the temperature is on the warming drawer. You want to keep it, if it's above 140 degrees, then the heat will help keep the bacterial growth down, but also just pay attention to the time. You don't want to have it sitting there overnight unless it's, if you're drying something, you want to make sure that you pull out the moisture. My big thing is read the directions with the machine because it'll tell you how long to store things in it.
Great. Another question is, I know freezer burn compromises the quality of food, but is it still safe to eat?
It is still safe to eat. It's just, do you want to eat it? And so if you have old meat, that's something you could put in a stew. But the big thing is getting rid of the air and keeping the air out of the packaging and then freezing it very fast. Because if it takes a long time to freeze, you have larger water molecules. And then if you freeze things and thaw and freeze and thaw, the water molecules tend to clump together. And so you have bigger water molecules. When they freeze, they make more damage. So it impacts the quality, but it is still safe to eat.
Thank you so much. Great
Sure.
information, Sue. Now, sampling of some of the news reports that included quotes from ANR experts. Reporters are interviewing ANR experts on a variety of subjects beyond wildfire, which is the usual topic. We've gotten coverage for artificial turf to research on greenhouse gases informing policy. And they're not just interviewing the usual suspects. Some of our newer academics like Kristen and Kamyar, as you can see, were quoted. So speaking of new colleagues, let's see the list of new hires. And I only had a couple photos, had to steal Bruno's photo off of his webpage. If he's watching, you might want to send me a better photo for the newsletter. And then for the other updates, just a reminder again that open enrollment ends tomorrow at 5 p.m. You have to go to UCPath to complete that. And Giving Tuesday is November 28th. If you want to get some more funding for your programs, that's a great opportunity to participate in Giving Tuesday. Our next town hall is going to be a virtual holiday party on December 21. Oh, is it the 14th?
It was moved, Pam. It was moved back.
Thanks. Thank you to our speakers, Grace and Julia of Tritonlytics and Sue Mossbacher of the UC Master Food Preservers. And thanks to all of you for making time to be with us. Have a happy and healthy holiday.